has a Barcelona clause in his contract. So the club have identified a possible right back and a possible left back to substitute Joao Cancelo and Alejandro Balde respectively. Finally, a battle is brewing between Barcelona and Real Madrid over an up and coming young promising player. We have a lot to discuss, so let's dive right in. Welcome everyone to the channel. My name is Mo. As you already know, I'm currently outside of the country. In fact, this is my third or fourth attempt at doing this live stream. I do apologize for that, and I thank you for bearing with me. I haven't been able to make videos in the past 2 days because I'm in a rural area, not a lot of internet signal, so it's been very difficult to make live streams or make videos. But nonetheless, hopefully this live stream works and hopefully you guys can see it and get your Barca news update. Now, we'll be going home tomorrow, so tomorrow we'll be back in my Barca studio with my equipment, back to the regularly scheduled videos and live streams. So please bear with me as I try to bring you the most up-to-date news from a very rural area in the world where, again, not a lot of internet signal. Now, having said all that, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. And if you're looking to place any sports bets, make sure you hit the Bet Us. Both links for kit bag and Bet Us are in the description. Now, let's begin with the news because there's a lot to cover since I haven't been able to do videos these past 2 days. Starting with Bruno Guimarães, who most of you already know who he is. He's a 25-year-old pivot who currently plays at Newcastle. Incredible pivot. And he recently renewed his contract with the Premier League team. Now, the Brazilian midfielder has been linked with Barcelona in the past. And of course, once he renewed his contract with Newcastle, it was kind of like door closed. No way he's coming to Barcelona until this latest news by Tony Juan Martí, the journalist who has revealed that it's Bruno Guimarães' dream to play in Barcelona. Now, Bruno Guimarães' agent is a very good friend of Joan Laporta. They've done a lot of work together. Guimarães' agent has also done a lot of work with Deco. You know, Deco is a kind of like a Brazilian market specialist. So Bruno Guimarães' agent has very good relationships with Joan Laporta, with Deco, with the club as a whole. And since Bruno Guimarães' dream is to play for Barcelona, it looks like when he renewed his contract with Newcastle, he insisted that a Barcelona clause be included in his contract. Now, what does a Barcelona clause mean? That means if Barcelona decide or try to sign Bruno Guimarães, they'd be able to sign him from Newcastle for around 65 to 70 million euros. Now, this is huge because, of course, Bruno Guimarães' market value is 80 million euros. Clubs usually ask for more, so if you try to buy him now, he'd probably be worth 100, maybe 120 million euros. But this release clause would allow Barcelona to sign Bruno Guimarães from Newcastle for around 65 to 70 million euros, which would be a huge bargain from what the player is actually worth. Now, does this mean Barcelona will actually sign him? Very difficult, very highly unlikely, just because the difficult financial situation of the club. So yes, 65 to 70 million euros would be a bargain for Bruno Guimarães, but the club is not in a situation to pay that kind of money for not just Guimarães, but for any player. But nonetheless, that's the news, and it's important to know that Bruno Guimarães does have a Barcelona release clause in his contract. Now, the next news is that Barcelona have identified a possible substitute for Joao Cancelo in the right back position. Of course, Cancelo does not have a natural replacement or a natural substitute on the first team. Yes, we do have players like Koundé, like Ronald Araujo, like Sergio Roberto who can play in the right back position, but none of those players are natural fullbacks. So Joao Cancelo currently does not have a substitute on the first team or a natural substitute on the first team. So Barcelona are constantly studying possible solutions to this problem. And one player they have identified or are considering is Héctor Fort. Now, Héctor Fort is a 17-year-old right back who currently plays for Barca Athletic. He's a Barcelona Academy product, so he knows how to play the Barcelona way. He knows what a Barcelona fullback is expected to do, and he's currently doing really well with Barca Athletic, so much so that he's been nicknamed the Cancelo of Barca Athletic. So Barcelona seriously tracking the progress of Héctor Fort. If he continues to do well, continues to progress, he could be Cancelo's substitute And who knows, if he does well, maybe eventually could take Cancelo's place, because after all, Cancelo is 29 years old and he's not going to be at the club forever. Now, speaking of fullbacks, let's talk about a possible left back for Alejandro Balde, or a substitute for Alejandro Balde. Of course, Balde does have a natural substitute on the first team named Marcos Alonso. But as I mentioned before, it has been confirmed that Marcos Alonso will be leaving the club in the summer. His contract does expire in the summer, and Barcelona have no intention of renewing Marcos Alonso's contract. So starting summer of 2024, Alejandro Balde will not have a natural substitute on the first team. So Barcelona, of course, are weighing all of their options. And one of those options is, of course, Alex Valle, who's a Barca Academy product. He's currently on loan. But of course, clubs never just consider one option. They're always considering several options for a certain position in case one does not work out. And another option that Barcelona are considering is Ian Maatsen. Now, Ian Maatsen is a 21-year-old Dutch left back who currently plays at Chelsea. His contract is set to expire in this upcoming summer. And if he doesn't renew his contract, then Barcelona will try to sign him. Now, as I mentioned before, Deco does have a new policy of signing either very young players who don't cost much or free agents. In the case of Ian Maatsen, he kind of fills both boxes, where he's a young, promising player, but he would also be a free agent in the summer. So again, if Ian Maatsen does not renew his contract with Chelsea, which so far he hasn't done, and Barcelona will try to sign him as a possible substitute for Alejandro Balde in that left back position. Now, speaking of young and up-and-coming talent, there's currently a battle brewing between Barcelona and Real Madrid over the young and up-and-coming Serbian player named Matija Popovic. Now, Popovic is a 17-year-old attacking midfielder who currently plays in Serbia. I can't pronounce the name of his club, but he is doing wonders. He's already caught the attention of all of Europe. He's doing so well that he has scored 21 goals and provided 5 assists in 26 matches. So again, 21 goals and 5 assists, in 25 matches. So impressive numbers by the young Popovic, who's already caught the attention of many European clubs. But the reports are the two clubs who are mostly interested in him are Barcelona and Real Madrid, who have both been tracking him for a while. They have sent emissaries to watch him play, and they've even sent emissaries to contact the player and his entourage. So Matija Popovic, remember that name, because I'm sure we're going to be talking about him for quite some time. Now, the final name that I want to mention is Kaoru Mitoma. Most of you already know who he is. He's a 26-year-old left winger who currently plays for Brighton in the Premier League. There's a lot of positive reports from Barcelona scouts in regards to Mitoma, and it seems that Xabi is a big fan of him and would like to have him on the team. Now, Mitoma, the reason I left him to the end is because he's not a priority for the club, of course, but what makes this news interesting is that his contract does expire in the summer of 2025. And given Deco's policy of signing free agents or very young players, he could be a possibility. But what makes this news even more interesting is that, of course, we do have Ansu Fati, who's currently playing in Brighton, and who Brighton's coach De Zerbi has mentioned in the past that he does like Ansu and would like to keep him. And of course, I did mention in a previous video that Barcelona have decided to offload Ansu Fati permanently. So given all this news together, that Xabi likes Mitoma, that Ansu Fati, that De Zerbi likes Ansu Fati, that Barcelona want to offload Ansu Fati, then there's already talks about a possible swap where Barcelona would offload Ansu Fati permanently to Brighton, and we can see Kaoru Mitoma join Barcelona. Now, will this happen? Of course, it's not guaranteed, but it is a possibility, just given all these factors once you put them together. Anyways, that's all the news for you today. Again, this is, I think, my 3rd or 4th attempt at making this live stream. Hopefully this time it works. Again, I'm in a rural area, not a lot of internet. I'll try to make another live stream later because there is more news that I want to share with you. Hopefully it works. We'll see. But anyways, tomorrow I will be back home. So after that, it'll be back to regular scheduling in my YouTube studio with regularly edited videos and live streams that actually work and don't just cut off right in the middle. Anyways, thank you all of you who are watching. Thank you for those of you who watch when it ends. Again, have a good night. I'll see you in my next video. And as always, Bisca Barça.